Welcome to Cartagena. Cartagena was the final stop of my Latin America trip after Costa Rica and Panama. And from the first night itself, the city felt completely different. As you can see the beauty here. I started my Cartagena experience with a night walk through the old city. As you see the background, the waterfront and the street right here. The air was warm, the streets were full of lights, and the old city had this mix of history, music, crowds, and celebration everywhere. At night, Cartagena has a very special atmosphere. Colonial buildings, the balconies, the stone streets, the churches, the plazas, everything feels alive under this light. Because it was New Year's time, the city was even more festive. As you can see the decorations right here, all the music playing in the background, the buses, the shivas, and all this because of the New Year. The city feels more festive. Families were out, tourists were walking around, street performers were there, and they were gathering crowds. And every corner had some kind of movement, and why not? I should move a little bit too. This was not a quiet city at night. It was busy, colorful, and with full of energy. But even with the crowd, the old city had a charm. See the lights, see the bus, see the dancing. You could feel the history in the walls and the street, but at the same time, the city felt modern, social, and very alive. For me, the best part was not just seeing one monument or one attraction. It was simply walking slowly, watching the street life, and letting the city reveal itself. Now take a look of these colorful streets. Some are calm and peaceful, less crowd. Some ancient houses, architecture, the horse carriage. You can see the flags on the top of the houses, and then gradually you see in the other part more and more people full with life. And these are some traditional dresses women are wearing for the pictures. Now I'm slowly moving towards Getsemaní. This is after the old city. I spent a little bit time around this area, one of the most colorful and artistic area of Cartagena. Getsemaní, I felt different from the more polished part of the old city. I had more street art, more color, more music, and more local energy. The streets were decorated with flags, umbrellas, murals, lights, and small details everywhere. Every few steps, there was something new to look at. This is where Cartagena felt very expressive. There was music on the street, and you can see the hawkers behind me. People, as you can see, enjoying this moment, eating out, sitting with family, and you will also see the music on the street. I really felt like it's a part of the city because it did not feel like only a tourist attraction. It felt like a neighborhood with personality. colors, the music, the dancing, the old buildings, and the narrow street, as you saw, all came together. You can see the street dancers, they're very natural, very entertaining people. So Getsemaní is one of those places where you do not need to rush. You just walk. This is a new morning, and today I saw a very different side of Cartagena, the Caribbean water. I went on a 5-island tour, which gave me a completely different view of the city and the coast. From the coast to coast, from the boat to Cartagena, looked very different. You could see the skyline, the sea, the boat, and the contrast between the historic city and the modern waterfront. The water was blissful, and the day had a more relaxed rhythm compared to the busy old city night. The tour moved from one island to another one as I jumped in the water to one of the famous place, Pablo Escobar mansion stop, where people jump into, see if anything they can find about the sank plane. Later, I went to another island. This is the area where people are eating while standing in the water. That was a very different kind of experience. The tables, the food, the water, and the boat, and the people around. It felt very local, casual, and unusual at the same time. It was not the polished luxury beach experience. It was more raw, lively, and very Cartagena. Just take a look of the people around behind me, how they are just standing and enjoying this boat with a view of almost 360 of the beach and the water behind me. As I arrived in the town and in the evening, I found an Indian restaurant at the center in the old town and had my dinner there. And from there you can see from the top of the decorations of upcoming New Year. And you can see the people,
All the things that you see
and our other decorations of the streets around this area are available for people to buy. Now from here, I'm gonna go and take a look a little bit more towards the one of the famous place called City Wall. The wall and fortification are a big part of the city's identity. They show the importance Cartagena was, why so much effort was made to protect it. This is a big wall surrounding the city, I believe, to protect from people who were trying to invade the city. This is the night time when I had the opportunity to walk over on top of it and see the city from the top. After finishing the wall, I went to see further in the old city and around to see some other places, other activities, other entertainments, and some of the historic places. And this is in the morning how the city wall looks like. From here, I also took a day tour of the city, how it looks in the daytime, and some of the historic part of the city, the famous church, And the art was created, as you can see here, how they have been crafted. They are very unique in nature. And some of these symbols of colonial era. Take a look on the top of the city wall again, and the church, and back to the main city. And this is the time clock you can see using the sun. The city street, the people around,
Guten Morgen!
the old cars.
Alles klar, Kollege! Auf Wiedersehen!
They were creating a contrast, and these are some of the flags. And then finally some other entertainment here. This guy is doing a rapping. Just asking me where I'm from.
Hey,
And
Atlanta,
he just made it up.
Cartagena, Puerto, porque somos los raperos y le botamos de oro. Hey, you are the boy, you are the king, you are the penco. Tenemos el estilo, pero tenemos talento.
As I plan to catch one of the bus to enjoy a little bit the bus experience, which is one of the famous bus experience, also some called Shiva bus, which added another local flavor to the trip. This Shiva bus itself was colorful and lively, and a festive feeling as well. It is not a quiet sightseeing tour, it's more like a moving celebration through the city. As part of the tour, I visited the fort area, and the Cartagena's story becomes much more visible. The old fort, the stone walls, and the views around the city remind you that Cartagena was once a major colonial port and a heavily protected city. Walking around this area gives the trip more in depth. You begin to understand the beauty of Cartagena is not only in the colors and music, but also in the history. This is the place I had chocolate, and this is the fort which looks from the distance. Now as I come back on 31st December to celebrate the New Year's Eve, as the trip moved forward towards the old city, it became even more alive. I've never seen so many people gathered together to celebrate this event. Cartagena on New Year's Eve had a very strong celebration mood. As you can see around me, how many people are here. The streets were full, the streets were busy, music was everywhere, and people were dressed up and ready to welcome the new year. The old city looked beautiful at night. Lights, balconies, plaza, flowers, carriages, music and crowds all coming together. There was a festive feeling in the air. At the same time, I could feel how intense Cartagena can become during a major celebration. It was crowded, loud, and full of movements. But for the New Year Eve, that energy also made sense. This was not a quiet ending to the trip. It was colorful, social, and full of life. Standing here in the old city, surrounded by lights and celebration, felt like a memorable way to close the year. In summary, Cartagena had a strong personality, and that is what made it memorable. For me, the best way to experience Cartagena was not to rush through a checklist, but just slowly walk around and see and experience. And now it's time to return. Thank you very much.